Could I have roll call, please?
Alderman Spargettis.
Here.
Alderman Talanair.
Here.
Alderman Parker.
Here.
Alderman Schiff.
Here.
Alderman Geenan.
Present.
Alderman Clark.
Here.
Alderman Mayberry.
Here.
Mayor Tomes.
Here.
You have a quorum.
Thank you. We do have the Boy Scouts Troop 258 here to learn about the government and civic organizations. And so we'd like to have them, if they wouldn't mind, as we do the Pledge of Allegiance, they could lead us, please. All right.
Please recite with me the Pledge of Allegiance.
Thank you very much. If we could please have a moment of silence. Thank you very much. Item number 5.
Minutes of the goal-setting sessions, June 23rd, June 24th, July 18th, and July 19th, 2017.
Motion to approve the minutes as printed.
Second.
Moved in second. Do we have any discussion?
Just wanted to say very quickly, Mayor, that folks may notice we had multiple days there. Generally, we get done with our goal setting in a weekend. This year, we had to schedule additional time. A lot of new faces on council, new staff, and we were, I think, very constructively rewriting a lot of things for the city and really thinking about where we're at right now and where we want to be in the short and long term. And I'm just very proud of the work that we accomplished over the several days that we took to reflect on our goals. So thank you to staff who supported that and all the council members for being present at all the meetings.
Very good. Thank you very much. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Item number 6.
Minutes of the meeting of July 24th, 2017.
Move to approve the minutes as printed.
Second.
Been moved in second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Item number 7, update. Got a couple items here. Community Crime Prevention Partnership Meeting. Please join the City of Rock Island Police Department on Wednesday, August 16th, 2017 for their monthly crime prevention meeting. This month's topic will focus on introducing the new school resource officer, Officer Doug Williams, and Officer Matt Franks. These educational meetings are intended to strengthen the partnership with the citizens of Rock Island and the police department. The meeting schedule is to start at 6 p.m. at the community room at the police department at 1212 Fifth Avenue. Guided solar eclipse viewing. On Monday, August 21st, 2017, the 3031 Branch Library will offer solar eclipse viewing and learning activities out on the lawn. Bring your solar eclipse viewing glasses, as special glasses are required to look at the sun safely during the event. There are also indirect viewing techniques to learn. The event starts at 11:30 a.m. and goes until 2 o'clock p.m. and is recommended for ages 8 and up. For information, please call 309-732-7369, weather permitting. Thursday Night Groove Concert Series. The free Thursday Night Groove Concert Series continues this season at Schwiebert Riverfront Park on Thursday, August 24th, 2017. Fantastic Five will kick the season off with their high-energy songs. The event is open from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Rock Island Happy Joe's will have pizza for sale, and Bent River beer will be available for purchase. Big Bell Jazz and Heritage Festival. The free jazz festival will be taking place at the Martin Luther King Jr. Park on August 18th and 19th, 2017. Bring your lawn chairs, relax, and listen as we celebrate the musical legacy of the Quad Cities. Music starts at 5 p.m. on Friday and goes until 10 p.m., and again Sunday from noon to 10 p.m. So there's a few things that people can take advantage of and enjoy in the city of Rock Island. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
If I could, update Rock Island. For the past 6 to 8 months, our new city manager, Randy, and myself have worked on getting new signs put up on Highway 67 denoting where Rock Island High School is at. Those signs have been put up since our last meeting. They are red and yellow, and out-of-towners, when they come in from both directions, will be able to find the high school. So I give credit to Randy because I took it to Randy first, and Randy took it to IDOT and worked on it since then.
Outstanding. Thank you very much for those efforts. I was going to make a mention at the end, but thank you very much. And any way finding information around the city is very good. So thank you for your efforts also. Very good. All right. Number 8.
Announcement of the 2017 Rock Island Citizen of the Year winners.
One of the things, a lot of the things that aldermen are asked to do is to serve on various committees, and I can't think of a more enjoyable committee to work with and co-chair with Alderman Parker than this committee, because what we do is work with the community that nominates the best of Rock Island. And it's my honor tonight, along with Alderman Parker, to announce this year's 2017 Citizens of the Year in 8 categories. Just an announcement that a reception will be held at 6:15 before the City Council when we meet again on the 28th of August to honor these recipients. And during the 28th City Council meeting, the overall 2017 Rock Island Citizen of the Year will be announced, and that person will serve as the Grand Marshal of our Labor Day Parade on Monday, September 4, 2017. All of the award winners tonight will be in the parade and serve as the front leaders of our Labor Day Parade on the 4th of September. For our business category, the Citizen of the Year is Miss Brimani's Hair and Beauty Supply. For our professional category, it goes to Pastor Stacy Fiddler. Education category goes to Bernie Carmack.
I would just like to reiterate Alderman Geenan's comments that it's just been wonderful to serve on this this board. Unfortunately, not everybody that gets nominated can win the award, but just seeing the volume of individuals, businesses, organizations that were nominated by their peers in our city just demonstrates how wonderful of a community we have here. So cheers to everybody that was nominated. We're all winners, but unfortunately we all can't be in the parade. So let me continue. In the organization category, we had a bit of an unusual decision. It's been done before. We decided to select 2 nominees from that category. You will see why. The first one is Friends of Hauberg Civic Center, a new organization here in the city of Rock Island. And the second one, Spring Forward Learning Center. And I think the group decided it was very difficult to compare the actions of the Friends of Hauberg Civic Center and the actions of Spring Forward. They serve different missions, and so we decided to just nominate both of them. And so continuing on in the individual category, Matt Stern. The city employee category, John Grip from the Parks Department. And in the youth category, Mykesha Wells. And last but not least, in the honorary category, which is an individual that does not live within the city of Rock Island, all of the former winners are required to live in the city of Rock Island. But the honorary category winner this year is Christine Schmidt. So congratulations to all of the winners, and thank you everybody who participated in the process nominating individuals and groups, and looking forward to a great reception and a great Labor Day parade.
On August 28 at our City Council meeting, members of the committee will be present to give you more information about why the winners won and give you a little bit more description. Tonight we just wanted to make the announcements. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you very much. Thank you to the committee. You know, the winners, I think, are also the citizens of Rock Island for being able to benefit from the fruits of those individuals and groups, what they bring to the city. So I think that everybody there is a winner. So thank you very much. Item number 9.
Proclamation declaring August 13th through August 19th, 2017 as Rock Island Clown Appreciation Week.
And we have a couple clowns with us that we can present this to. We have Topper and Susie Q. So we'll read this. And believe it or not, I dressed up as clowns several times, too, for the Festival of Trees parade a number of years and got to see a lot of happy kids and family members. So it's great. Say it's scary. Thanks, Steve. All right, so whereas whoever has heard the laughter of a child or the sudden delight on the face of a lonely person expressing sadness, all are indebted to those who redeem sickness and pain with joy and laughter. And whereas people from all walks of life recognize the colorful makeup, costumes, and entertainment experience from clowns. And whereas the Quad City Clown Troupe continues to share the crafts, skills, and enjoyment of clowning within the community, and whereas the City of Rock Island, Illinois, recognizes the values of clowning and the individuals providing the entertainment. Now, therefore, I call public attention to the charitable activities of clowns and the wholesome entertainment they provide for all our citizens. I, Mike Tomes, Mayor of the City of Rock Island, Illinois, hereby proclaim the week of August 13th through the 19th, 2017, as Rock Island Clown Appreciation Week.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've lost an icon in our history. No longer will the parade come through town to drag the people out to the sawdust of the Big Top. And it evolved to much bigger acts and a much bigger circus in places like the Iowa Wireless, and we lost Ringling. That is an icon in our history that, as generations go forward, will eventually be lost. As a clown troupe, we try and share the skills and crafts of clowning. We take great pride in the services that we do for the community, and we sincerely want to thank the city for this recognition.
You're welcome. Well deserved. Thank you very much. All right. Item number 10.
An ordinance authorizing the issuance of 2 series of unlimited tax general obligation bonds, Series 2017A, for the financing of roadway improvement projects at an estimated cost of $2,500,000 and refunding of all or a portion of the outstanding general obligation bonds, Series 2008A and 2009B, and Series 2017B for the refunding of all or a portion of the outstanding general obligation bonds, Series 2008B and 2009A. Note, a second reading will be held on Monday, August 28, 2017, for final consideration.
Move to consider the ordinance.
Second.
Moved in second. Any discussion?
A question for Stephanie and for Randy here. Just a couple points of clarification on this. So for the roadway improvement projects, the money, is that for work that's already been bid out for this year and done, or is this for more work this year?
Some of it is work that's in progress and completed, and some is for future work. That was on the resolution that you passed at the last agenda, so those are the particular projects that we're referring to.
Great. And then in terms of the refunding for the different series bonds, I mean, generally we've seen this in the every year since I've been on council. It's just a process for getting lower interest rates on these bonds as money becomes cheaper. So the folks at home know what we're doing here. We're trying to get lower interest rates on our long-term debts for the city. So just a little bit of explanation there. So no need. Thank you.
Good. Thank you. Could we have roll call, please?
Alderman Spargettis.
Yes.
Talanair.
Yes.
Parker.
Aye.
Schick.
Aye.
Deanan.
Aye.
Clark.
Aye.
Mayberry.
Yes.
7 ayes, no nays. Motion carried.
Thank you. On this one, on item number 11, we're going to do A and B and then make the motion. So item number 11.
A, report from the Public Works Department regarding payment number 1 in the amount of $38,204 to Green Space Associates of Davenport, Iowa for the 2017 sod replacement program. B, report from the Public Works Department regarding payment number 2 in the amount of $140,905.75 to Centennial Contractors of the Quad Cities Incorporated of Moline, Illinois for the 2017 sidewalk and pavement patching program.
Move to accept the reports and authorize payments for claims items A and B as recommended.
Second.
Moved in second. Any discussion?
I just wanted to comment that I've had calls from constituents in my ward, and I've driven around other wards and seen the same problem where there's areas where there's sand on the grassy areas of the boulevard or in someone's yard where some either fire hydrant work has been done or city water line's been repaired, something like that. And some of them have been a little concerned that it's been taken a long time for the sod to be replaced. They'll be very happy to see that. I'm sure that there are reasons why it was delayed, weather conditions or other things, but I just wanted to mention it so that if they're watching at home, they know that we're on the job.
Thank you.
Yes, Mayor. Also on the sidewalk, if, Randy, you could explain how that process goes. I've had people say, well, they want theirs done. Isn't there a process? They have to turn their names in. It's not like you're going to get yours done this year. There's years of this to be done, right?
Well, they contact Public Works, and then someone goes out and evaluates to see if it needs to be repaired. And then Larry could probably speak more to this if needed, but we do as much as we can per year. I think are we 1 year out, Larry? Do you know? It's not years. Usually, so if you call now, it will be completed next season unless we had some time at the end of this year.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Could we have roll call, please?
Alderman Spargettis.
Yes.
Talanair.
Yes.
Parker.
Aye.
Schick.
Aye.
Geenan.
Aye.
Clark.
Aye.
Mayberry.
Yes.
7 ayes, no nays. Motion carried.
Item number 12.
Claims for the weeks of July 21st through July 27th in the amount of $479,299. July 28th through August 3rd in the amount of $357,032.67. And August 4th through August 10th in the amount of $634,484.67. And payroll for the weeks of July 17th through July 30th in the amount of $1,542,737.52.
Move to allow the claims and payroll.
Second.
Moved in second. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Alderman Spargettis.
Yes.
Talanair.
Yes.
Parker.
Aye.
Schick.
Aye.
Geenan.
Aye.
Clark.
Aye.
Mayberry.
Yes.
7 ayes, no nays. Motion carried.
Item number 13.
ACH payments for the month of July in the amount of $3,400,157.01.
Move to approve the ACH payments.
Second.
Moved in second. Any discussion? All those, or roll call, please.
Alderman Spargettis.
Yes.
Talanair.
Yes.
Parker.
Aye.
Schick.
Aye.
Geenan.
Aye.
Clark.
Aye.
Mayberry.
Yes.
7 ayes, no nays. Motion carried.
Item number 14.
Purchase card claims for the period from June 27th through July 26, 2017, in the amount of $63,051.97.
Move to approve the purchase card claims.
Second.
Moved in second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Alderman Spargettis.
Yes.
Talanair.
Yes.
Parker.
Aye.
Schick.
Aye.
Geenan.
Aye.
Clark.
Aye.
Mayberry.
Yes.
7 ayes, no nays. Motion carried.
Item number 15.
Report from the Information Technology Department regarding bids for the installation of 10 security cameras in and around the area of Glenhurst Court, recommending the bid be awarded to Tri-City Electric Company of Davenport, Iowa, in the amount of $37,055.
Move to award the bid as recommended and authorize the city manager to execute the contract documents.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion?
I just wanted to make mention of the funding sources so people would know where this money is coming from. It's coming from Community Development Block Grant funds and state drug prevention funding.
Thank you. Good. Roll call, please.
Alderman Spargettis.
Yes.
Talanair.
Yes.
Parker.
Aye.
Ship.
Aye.
Geenan.
Aye.
Clark.
Aye.
Mayberry.
Yes.
7 ayes, no nays, motion carried.
Item number 16.
Report from the Information Technology Department regarding an agreement renewal with Rock Island County for the lease of city fiber optic infrastructure.
Motion to approve the agreement is recommended and authorize the city manager to execute the contract document.
Second.
It's been moved and second. Any discussion? Hearing none. Roll call, please.
Alderman Spargettis.
Yes.
Talanair.
Yes.
Parker.
Aye.
Ship.
Aye.
Geenan.
Aye.
Clark.
Aye.
Mayberry.
Yes.
7 ayes, no nays, motion carried.
Item number 17.
Report from the Community and Economic Development Department regarding the sale of city-owned property at the northwest corner of Illinois 92 and Andalusia Road to Casey's Retail Company for $50,000.
Motion to approve the purchase agreement is recommended. Authorize city manager to execute the contract documents and consider, suspend the rules, and pass the ordinance.
Second.
It's been moved and second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Yeah, I would just
sorry.
want to say, I know everyone up here is happy to have Casey's come to this community. They are a well-run establishment. I travel a lot for my work. I prefer to stop at Casey's. Reliably clean, well-stocked. The employees seem to be cheerful, happy, helpful, and we are thrilled that they want to come here and open up a successful business. So.
And it's designed to be kind of a mini truck stop type deal, so they'll have diesel and places for some trucks to park.
It
So
should
it'd be more than just the normal.
Yeah, it should really help that industrial park out there, because a lot of the businesses out there depend upon semis in and out, and there's no semis, diesels here. A lot of those that are going to Chicago have to cross the river and go to Walcott, get diesel, and then come back across the bridge.
Right.
So this is going to be a great addition to the city of Rock Island, the second ward. Approximately 50 years ago, when we annexed all that land out there, our population was supposed to double. Well, it hasn't doubled, but this can start a whole lot of other good things in that area. So we thank Casey's for coming.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Everybody's work at making it happen.
Right.
Roll call, please.
Alderman Spargettis.
Yes.
Talanair.
Yes.
Parker.
Aye.
Ship.
Aye.
Geenan.
Aye.
Clark.
Aye.
Mayberry.
Yes.
7 ayes, no nays, motion carried.
Item number 18.
Report from the Community and Economic Development Department regarding an incentive agreement and purchase agreement with Rock Island Coffee for the purchase of city-owned property at 2711 18th Avenue for the appraised price of $5,500.
Move to approve the incentive agreement and the sale of property as recommended and authorize the city manager to execute the contract documents subject to minor attorney modifications.
Second.
Been moved and second. Any discussion? Hearing none. Roll call, please.
Alderman Spargettis.
Yes.
Talanair.
Yes.
Parker.
Aye.
Ship.
Aye.
Geenan.
Aye.
Clark.
Aye.
Mayberry.
Yes.
7 ayes, no nays, motion carried.
Item number 19.
Report from the Community and Economic Development Department regarding a development agreement with Saratoga Capital, LLC, for the development of the property commonly known as the Vandergins Riverview Lost Beth's Building.
Move to approve the development agreement as recommended and authorize the city manager to execute the contract documents.
Second.
Been moved and second. Discussion.
Yeah, I would just like to, I've had some residents, I guess, raise some concerns about incentive programs. Happens pretty regularly. As I understand it, this is all coming from TIF funds. So where somebody asked me, well, why are we spending this much money on this when we could be using this money to build houses or something? And it's not like we have a pot of money currently that we're doling out to projects. The money that is going to be going to this incentive program will be from the extra tax generated from the development taking place. So I just wanted to clarify that for people at home and people here, that I would like to be able to give money to this development and do more houses and everything else that we would like to have here in Rock Island, but this is not taking away from building homes or whatever else we would like to do. This is TIF funding, so.
Correct. And let me add, just, you can only spend the TIF money in the TIF district, so even if you wanted to or anything else, it has to stay within that district. So that's an important part. And part of it is some rebating or refunding of some property tax after the TIF expires is where it also comes, because it expires in 3 years from now, and so it'll move on. You know, another positive thing, this is over a $10 million investment being made downtown Rock Island, and I think that's a major investment by somebody. We haven't seen that kind of investment downtown for a long time, and I think it's very positive to create the construction jobs along with a new place. You talk about homes, 33 of them will be livable, you know, our apartments, and then a boutique hotel. So there will be more people living downtown for the businesses downtown. So I think it's a very positive move for the citizens of Rock Island and to have that. And once the rebate part money's over with, that money then becomes a very positive cash flow for the city. So you know, a number of years down the road, or several years down the road, we will see the reap even better benefits from it when that runs out. So those are all positive thoughts. This building sat vacant far too long. Had some bad press with it, and we started with a bad developer, but things have really turned. And I want to compliment the staff. I mean, you know, whether it be CED, whether it be finance, city manager, they've all worked very, very hard on this project, along with the last two. So I think that you know, they deserve a little public kudos because these things just don't happen overnight or very easy. There's a lot of hours put in, and so I commend them for getting it accomplished.
And Mayor, I would just like to add, I had taken the time to meet with one of the principals with Saratoga Capital downtown Rock Island, really to kind of just get to know the individual personality of the person who was driving this from Saratoga Capital's perspective. And just so the community knows, you know, Mr. Estep and his organization have done fantastic work all across the country, locally here with the Blackhawk Hotel, the work that's done there. And one of the things he had said to me in our meeting was that, you know, Rock Island deserves this kind of investment. And I really think that we want to work with people who see that there is so much happening with the downtown, the real estate, the potential, the energy that's there, the entrepreneurs who are working hard every day to make our downtown attractive and livable for just not even just businesses, but many apartments and homes. I really think this is going to be a crown jewel of our downtown. I think it's going to be beautiful. I really do. The vision behind this is all about bringing a extremely high value property, restoring something to its full potential. And I know something that my colleague up here, Alderman Parker, and a lot of us are going to appreciate is the work that's going to be done to restore the mural of Chief Blackhawk and honoring the native people of this region and what little we can do to showcase our respect for them and their love of this land. And so there's just a lot of good things going into this, and I just echo what the mayor said with our CED staff, bringing home some great deals here tonight, and I'm sure many more coming.
I have to echo what Aldermanship and the mayor stated, because I just know this is going to be a great relationship we just started with Mr. Estep. Just seeing his excitement and how enthusiastic he is about the city of Rock Island and the things he feels he can do in the city of Rock Island just made me a little excited also. So I'm looking forward to these things.
You know, one little caveat that really helps this is there's no city money is paid to the developer until after they get occupancy. So that's very important. There's no money at risk on the project that's paid out and then problems and walk away. So I think that's another good factor of this. All right, roll call, please.
Alderman Spargattis.
Yes.
Collinaire.
No.
Parker.
Aye.
Chip.
Aye.
Geenan.
Aye.
Clark.
Aye.
Mayberry.
Yes.
6 ayes, 1 nay. Motion carried.
Thank you. Item number 20.
Report from the Community and Economic Development Department regarding a pilot program and agreement with the Illinois Department of Revenue for city inspection staff to conduct LC-13 liquor compliance field inspections.
Motion to approve this agreement as recommended and authorize the city manager to execute the contract documents.
Second.
It's been moved and second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Alderman Spargattis.
Yes.
Talanair.
Yes.
Parker.
Aye.
Ship.
Aye.
Geenan.
Aye.
Clark.
Aye.
Mayberry.
Yes.
7 ayes, no nays, motion carried.
Item number 21.
Report from the Police Department regarding a memorandum of understanding with Rock Island County and the City of Moline for a 2017 Justice Assistance Grant application.
Move to approve the memorandum of understanding as recommended and authorize city officials to execute the agreement.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Alderman Spargettis.
Yes.
Talanair.
Yes.
Parker.
Aye.
Ship.
Aye.
Geenan. Clark.
Aye.
Mayberry.
Yes.
7 ayes, no nays, motion carried.
Item 22.
Report from the Finance Department regarding an adjustment to the calendar year 2017 budget, recommending increasing the Community Development Block Grant Fund budget by $43,000.
Move to approve the budget adjustment as recommended.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Alderman Spargettis.
Yes.
Talanair.
Yes.
Parker.
Aye.
Ship.
Aye.
Geenan.
Aye.
Clark.
Aye.
Mayberry.
Yes.
7 ayes, no nays, motion carried.
Item 23.
Report from the Finance Department regarding an adjustment to the calendar year 2017 budget, increasing the Columbia TIF number 5 fund by $15,000.
Motion to approve the budget adjustment is recommended.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Roll call.
Alderman Spargettis.
Yes.
Talanair.
Yes.
Parker.
Aye.
Ship.
Aye.
Geenan. Clark.
Aye.
Mayberry.
Yes.
7 ayes, no nays, motion carried.
Item 24.
Report from the Finance Department regarding an adjustment to the calendar year 2017 budget, recommending increasing the Community Economic Development Fund by $3,070.40 through a transfer from the Gaming Fund.
Motion, move to approve the budget adjustment as recommended.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion?
Mayor, very quickly on previous item 22, that money transfer from the CDBG fund, $43,000. Just wanted to note that that's going to Douglas Park to the concession stand. So that's money that's going right back into the community for a project with the Parks Department. I just failed to mention that previously.
Good, thank you. Roll call.
Alderman Spargattis.
Yes.
Yes.
Parker.
Aye.
Ship.
Aye.
Geenan. Clark.
Aye.
Mayberry.
Yes.
7 ayes, no nays. Motion carried.
Item 25.
Report from the Finance Department regarding an adjustment to the calendar year 2017 budget, recommending increasing the wastewater and operation and maintenance fund by $1,466,348.61, the solid waste fund by $6,718.92, the fleet services fund by $125,545.86, and the Park and Recreation Fund by $47,192.83.
Move to approve. Go ahead.
Please, go ahead.
Move to approve the budget adjustments as recommended.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Besides these two being awful nice to each other. Roll call, please.
Alderman Spargattis.
Yes.
Talanair.
Yes.
Parker.
Aye.
Ship.
Aye.
Geenan.
Aye.
Clark.
Aye.
Mayberry.
Yes.
7 ayes, no nays, motion carried.
Item 26.
Report from the Community and Economic Development Department regarding a policy change for the 2018 gaming grant funds, reducing the maximum amount request from $10,000 to $8,000.
Motion to approve the policy change is recommended.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion?
I just want to say I think this is a good move. I don't want this to be perceived as we're trying to give less money to community organizations through the gaming funds. It's just a look at what our practices have been in allocating these dollars, the highest amount being at or below $8,000. And so, just kind of being more in line with what the allocation amount could actually be as opposed to just a number that's never really been attained. So.
And the current amount will still stay the budget of $50,000 going out from the Citizens Advisory Committee that makes those decisions based on applications from organizations.
Yes. Thank you. Roll call, please.
Alderman Spargattis.
Yes.
Talanair.
Yes.
Parker.
Aye.
Ship.
Aye.
Geenan.
Aye.
Clark.
Aye.
Mayberry.
Yes.
7 ayes, no nays, motion carried.
Item 27,
Report from the Community and Economic Development Department regarding the establishment of a revenue account by the City Finance Department designated for the Arts Advisory Committee.
Move to approve the request as recommended.
Second.
moved in second. Any discussion?
I would just like to ask who does one speak to donate to this Arts Advisory Committee? Do we go to CED, or who's in charge of that?
CED would be the place to start, and they could direct you.
Good. This is great. We all love public art, and it's great to maintain the public art that we already have. A lot of people think of just new sculptures and paintings, but we have some pieces of art that could use some TLC. So I'm really excited that the city is looking forward and being responsible about the things that we put up. We're going to take care of them. So this is wonderful.
And there'll be recycled parking meters all over the city where you can donate your coins.
Some reason, I don't know how this will go. No. Item,
Gonna need more than
roll call,
points.
please.
Alderman Spargettis.
Yes.
Talanair.
Yes.
Parker.
Aye.
Ship.
Aye.
Keenan.
Aye.
Clark.
Aye.
Mayberry.
Yes.
7 ayes, no nays, motion carried.
Item 28,
Report from the Community and Economic Development Department regarding the creation of a Rock Island Public Art Maintenance Policy.
Move to accept the Rock Island Public Art Maintenance Policy.
Second.
moved in second. Any discussion? We just had some, so. Roll call, please.
Alderman Spargettis.
Yes.
Talanair.
Yes.
Parker.
Aye.
Ship.
Aye.
Keenan.
Aye.
Clark.
Aye.
Mayberry.
Yes.
7 ayes, no nays, motion carried.
Item 29,
Report from the Public Works Department regarding the surplus of vehicles and equipment, recommending that the items be declared a surplus.
Move to approve the request as recommended, refer to the city attorney for an ordinance, and authorize staff to dispose of the items in a manner that will be advantageous to the city.
Second.
moved in second. Any discussion?
Just a comment here for Larry. I know in the past when Randy was our Public Works Director, I had urged and recommended that we do whatever we can to reach out to Rock Island nonprofits or Rock Island businesses to see if there's a need for the inventory here first. I think last time around it was a public auction of some sort. Maybe I think we let our local 501c3s in a day early. Maybe there was one vehicle that was just, I know it's a little extra work, but as we say, advantageous to the city. If there's any way we can get this inventory in front of folks who might need it here locally first, that would be, I think, pleasing to the council here.
Okay, we can look into that for sure.
Thank
Yep,
you.
just doing the same thing we did last year was good enough, would you?
Yeah, I think it was just one day early, but if you recall, Randy.
Yeah, they just had an early look, and we sold 1 or 2 vehicles, I think, to the nonprofits.
I think having 2 trailers that are going to be declared surplus will be great for some of our local nonprofits like Habitat or Rebuilding Quad Cities.
Thank you, Larry.
Sure.
Roll call, please.
Alderman Spargettis.
Yes.
Talanair.
Yes.
Parker.
Aye.
Ship.
Aye.
Keenan.
Aye.
Clark.
Aye.
Mayberry.
Yes.
7 ayes, no nays, motion carried.
Item 30,
Report from the Public Works Department regarding a request to disband the Water Resources Advisory Committee.
Motion to approve the request is recommended and authorize the city attorney to process the necessary paperwork.
Second.
moved in second. Any discussion?
I would just like to, sorry for hogging the mic tonight.
No, you're fine.
I would just like to applaud the city staff and the mayor's office for really buckling down on our boards and commissions here in the city. I mean, we're making sure that we're getting rid of commissions that are no longer necessary anymore. We're reinvigorating our boards and commissions. We're bringing citizens back into the city, and it's been a priority of mine, and I just would like to thank all staff and the mayor's office for really pursuing this. So kudos to you.
Yeah, I think the mayor and Linda have been very instrumental in getting us a master list of who's on our committees and just making sure they're all working.
Well, thank you. But
Yeah.
the follow-through, and the important part is after the fact. And,
Right.
and that's where there's a number of city staff members that are involved in these committees. And that's, once again, really where the rubber meets the road.
Yeah.
And so thank you to those staff members that are committed to helping drive these committees and commissions forward. So, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Item 31.
Report from the Fire Department regarding a request from the Rock Island Firefighters Association, IAFF Local 26, to utilize the intersection of 30th Street and 18th Avenue on Friday, September 1st from 3 p.m. to 7 p.m., Saturday, September 2nd, and Sunday, September 3rd from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. for their annual Muscular Dystrophy Association Fill the Boot fundraising campaign.
Move to approve the request as recommended.
Second.
Moved to second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. 32.
Report from the Traffic Engineering Committee regarding a request for the installation of a handicap parking space at 2735 8.5 Avenue.
Motion to approve the request is recommended and refer to the city attorney for an ordinance.
It's been moved and second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. 33.
Report from the mayor regarding reappointments and appointments to the Water Pollution Control Board, the Stormwater Board of Appeals, the Ethics Commission, and the Human Rights Commission.
Motion to approve the reappointments and appointments is recommended.
Second.
It's been moved and second. Any discussion?
Going based on, from continuing what Alderman Parker had said earlier, as we continue to look at the commissions, I've had a lot of calls. Mayor, could you remind us if someone's interested to serve on a commission, how do they go about getting their name out there?
The number one way is if they can get on the internet, if they have access to the computer and get on the city's website, there is a generic form out there that you can fill out, and there's a drop-down key that lets you know the different committees and commissions. You can pick that, and then that will get emailed to me. You can also print it off, fill it out, and bring it in. You don't have to have the form. If you want to just write a letter, that works also. It really is nothing real formal. The more information you can feed me is very helpful, especially contact information, but any background you have that you feel might be advantageous toward this commission or committee is helpful. But
I do know it's been a goal of yours to seek new appointments and try to do as little reappointments as possible.
That's correct. There's some that are they're not very real active committees, and so we've done some reappointments, but we do like to have term limits and get fresh ideas. So yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Item 34.
Report from the city clerk regarding an activity permit application for the St. Patrick's Day Parade to be held on Saturday, March 17, 2018, beginning at 11:30 a.m., and a resolution authorizing the use of a portion of 15th Street from 2nd Avenue to the Centennial Bridge.
Motion to approve the event is recommended and adopt the resolution.
Second.
It's moved in second. Is there any discussion? Roll call, please.
Alderman Spargattis.
Yes.
Talon-Air.
Yes.
Parker.
Aye.
Shipp.
Aye.
Geenan.
Aye.
Clark.
Aye.
Mayberry.
Yes.
7 ayes, no nays. Motion carried.
Item 35.
Report from the city clerk regarding an activity permit application from the Corn Belt Running Club to hold their 29th annual Nancy Caffine Memorial Classic 5K and 10K run on Sunday, October 1st, 2017, beginning at 8 a.m.
Move to approve the event as recommended.
Second.
It's been moved in second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes. Item 36. This one, there's A, B, C, and D will all be motion at once, but fully read.
Report from the city clerk regarding a request for sound amplification from Augustana College for a concert to be held on Saturday, August 19, 2017, from 9 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. in the campus lower quad at 3435 9th and a half Street. B, report from the city clerk regarding a request for a street closing at 9th Street between 6th Avenue and 7th Avenue, along with a sound amplification permit for the Rock Island County NAACP Community Day Celebration and Resource Fair to be held on Saturday, September 9, 2017, from noon to 4 p.m. at the Martin Luther King Center at 630 9th Street. C, report from the city clerk regarding a request from Matt Stoffen for a street closing of 22nd Street between 16th Avenue and 17th Avenue for the Highland Park Historic Neighborhood Association Block Party to be held on Sunday, September 24, 2017, from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. And D, report from the city clerk regarding a request from Brianna Harris for a street closing of 8th Street between 6th Avenue and 7th Avenue for a birthday party to be held on Saturday, October 7, 2017, from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m.
Move to approve the request as recommended for items A through D.
Second.
Moved in second. Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 37, other business.
Yes, Mayor, I'd like to make mention, we lost two great Americans, one from here, one from New Orleans. The funeral today was for Marcus Jackson, who was a soldier, served in Desert Storm. The other was a deputy sheriff in New Orleans who passed away Friday. That was my nephew. And both of these young men were 47 years old, and they passed away, and they served this country brilliantly.
Thank you. Well recognized.
I would also like to express my sincere regards for the family of Javier Perez. He served as the chairman for the Human Rights Commission here in the city of Rock Island. He was an active Rock Islander, an active member of the Broadway Historic District Association, and so his family is in our thoughts.
Very good. Anything else from the council?
I just wanted to share just a couple thoughts here. I know something that happened over this weekend has been on a lot of people's minds, the just heinous acts of violence down in Charlottesville, West Virginia. I think to many people, perhaps maybe in the northern parts of the country, are still surprised at the vitality of the white supremacists and the neo-Nazis and the KKK, who fly flags and symbols that ideologically just represent symbols of hate, constructs of hate, that really boil down to this idea that one group of people are better than the other, and that they have some sort of right to take away the sense of meaning and purpose of others so that they themselves find purpose through their hatred. And, a lot of this has been mobilized recently with our national politics. There's been an effort in the South to remove symbols of the Confederacy. And I think folks have to understand that at a certain point there's a price for war. And there was a war waged against the United States federal government, those who fought to preserve slavery and a system of society that has no place in a country with a Bill of Rights and a Constitution, and a strong desire to put all as equal under our laws. And I just think it's important for us at the local level to express a complete disavow of that behavior and that activity. And what it did for me, I was angry, frustrated, saddened, and ultimately arriving at a point of gratitude that I live in a city where we have very well-run organizations like the NAACP and our King Center, World Relief, Quad Cities Interfaith, our public and private places of education that I think are really doing a good job of not just preaching tolerance but respect. This is a diverse community. The Rock Island's a very diverse city, and I find strength in the fact that we have peace amongst ourselves and don't need to derive our sense of purpose from putting other people down. It's subhuman. It's disgusting, and I'm proud of this city. I am certain we would never be on the news for this kind of activity, and I feel bad for all those who are in Charlottesville who know that this isn't a reflection of their beliefs and their higher ideals. And I just hope there's some healing soon. I think this was something we maybe thought we were past as a country. It seems to be on the rise again, and I hope our better angels prevail in the end here.
And a newer organization in the Quad Cities called One Human Family Quad Cities. This Wednesday, August 16, is planning a no hate rally in response to what happened this weekend. It will be at the fountain at Vanderveer Park in Davenport, 12:15 on Wednesday, August 16.
Good. Also, if I could have Larry Cook come up concerning something that was brought up during the Martin Luther King situation, putting 3 non-Rock Island residents on the King Center board. And I'd ask if this was setting a precedence, and since then I found out that it is not setting a precedent. And I talked to Larry, if you would explain as far as the other board.
The Sunset Marina Boaters Advisory Committee has had in the past and even currently citizens on its board that do not reside in City of Rock Island. Currently, our leaseholders at the marina only make up 25% of leaseholders actually live in Rock Island. Since 2007, we've had on the board, we've had approximately 10 members that live in Rock Island and 11 from outside of Rock Island, because it is the marina is a community type of recreational aspect. So, like I said, Alderman Mabry asked me to look that information up.
Okay. Thank you.
Sure.
Good. Well put. Okay. We do have a few people in the audience that have signed up and would like to speak. The primary group of people will talk about the stormwater runoff up at Hodge Park. So I don't know if what order you wish to speak in, but if we can keep it simple and short, and I know you have some pictures you'd like to show. We'll give each person about 5 minutes at the most, and if you see somebody repeating something, then we can move on to items that are not repetitive. I'd appreciate it.
Thank you for letting us bring our problem to you. My name is Karen Bybee. I reside at 2200 36th Street, Apartment 2A in Rock Island. It's part of the Park Ridge condominiums. 8 years ago, my husband and I started to explore local communities and condo units for us to move to. We had lived most of our married life in Milan and Coal Valley, and we finally decided on Rock Island as our last home. We chose Rock Island mainly because of its affordable housing and living, its beautiful river access and parks, and its many opportunities for us to remain active retired seniors. I guess I would call it our last home, or, as a friend put it, the last stop before moving to the nursing home or the grave. We moved to Rock Island 7 years ago, and since then, during or after heavy rainstorms, we have experienced 3 major and 2, maybe more, minor sanitary backups. The last one occurred on July 22nd and has been our usual routine. People from our condos have hired plumbers and drain experts to check our sewer system within the condo system. We also, over the last 7 years, have gone to the Public Works Department to ask for help. The answer on this occasion and in previous times, and with different representatives going from our condo association to the Public Works, we were told that Public Works was not aware of our problem or that they would check it and they'd get back to us later. The words "will get back to you" haunt and frustrate us because no one from Public Works get back to us. We were told on more than one of these visits to the Public Works to be patient because money would be available in 2017 for sewer work. When we questioned in April of this year if that was still true, we were told that no such work in our area was approved. So we, the residents of Park Ridge Condos, met with the residents of Hodge Park Condo and decided to present our problem to you, the Rock Island City Council. We also distributed flyers to our neighboring households, inviting them to join us if they had experienced similar problems. You see, these incidents affect our lives not just when we happen, not when they just happen, but every day. Family and social plans have to be changed if heavy rain is predicted. 2 households had backup on Christmas Eve. We were in South Dakota when a backup occurred in June 30th of 2014. We drove frantically over 500 miles back while our dear friend and neighbor stayed up the entire night and by flashlight, because the power was out, squeegeed and mopped water as it gushed out of our toilet. When the gushing stopped, she squeegeed and mopped up the standing water to minimize damage. When we reached home, we had dried toilet paper and dried feces everywhere in our basement. The stench was unbelievable. While driving home, we tried to get cleanup companies to help us, but those who bothered to answer the phone said the soonest they would be available would be in 2 weeks. We couldn't stand the smell, so we cleaned it ourselves. As things began to settle down, my husband noticed blurriness in his right eye. He scheduled an eye appointment with his doctor, who sent him immediately to our family physician. My husband's blood pressure had spiked, and blood vessels in his eye had ruptured and burst. He is now on blood pressure meds and has an injection in his eye once a month to combat potential infection and the loss of vision. He's had 16 shots to date in his eye. You might say that it can't be entirely blamed on sewer backup. I really don't know. But I do know that the sanitary sewer backups have impacted our financial, social, emotional, and physical well-being. Others in our condos have stories to tell too, but we've tried to limit the number who get to share tonight. We do have pictures and some things to share with you too if you wish to see them. There have been public work personnel checking things out this past week. I think that's because Mr. Talanier attended our recent condo board meeting and has pressured people into action. We are most appreciative of his efforts. He is the first and the only person who has gotten back to us. Thank you, Mr. Talanier. The purpose of my being here, and those of the next 3 speakers, and maybe some of our neighboring household owners, is to have on public record, have it recorded that we have a severe problem and to the nature of our problem, and that we are requesting your help in getting the Public Works Department to help us to fix and find the problem. We request your help from the city of Rock Island, that we chose as our last home. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you.
Okay, my name is Bill Bybee. I live at 2200 36th Street, number 2A, Rock Island. I'll try not to repeat what my wife just said. I'm going to give you a few examples of what we've dealt with going to department heads and things. The first time I talked to a department head in his office, and he had a supervisor there, and told him the problem, and they said they thought maybe there was a shut-off device in the line farther north of us, but they weren't sure. And I said, well, could we put a shut-off device in our manhole, which is at the end of the line in our parking lot? And they said, well, we hadn't thought of that. We'll look into it. Well, I heard nothing back from that. So this possible shut-off device, it is in the manhole, which before our condos were built, this was the end of the sewer line on 36th Street, because that's a dead-end street and it ends in our parking lot. I was just told that was the end before we were developed. Okay. Evidently, the engineering department thought at the time that it was wise to put a shut-off device, the flapper type, okay? And it's in there. And about a week ago, when the city came to fix a broken lateral from across right near that manhole, I mean, I'm talking within 20 feet, the supervisor at the time said, well, told this guy, pull the cover and we'll look. Okay, they looked down in there and, oh yeah, okay, there's a shut-off device. And his first words were, I wonder if that's ours, the city's, or theirs, the condos. So he actually went back, and a couple days later, he shows up with a 3-man crew, and he checked with engineering, and it was the city of Rock Island's responsibility. So they fixed the flapper. I stood there and watched them, cleaned it, fixed it. Those kind of flappers need to be maintained on a regular basis. Otherwise, they can get things stuck in them, and they do not work properly. Okay? They fixed it. Okay, so that's one instance. Okay, I've talked over the time. I've talked to Mr. Tweed. I've talked to Mr. Daugherty. I've talked to Mr. Cook. The previous 5 or 6 years, I was led to believe the sewers were not separated in our area. And, of course, that's a problem. You probably don't know. If they're not separated, that's a potential problem. I was told 2 weeks ago, and I won't mention names, but that they are separated. Okay, so who knows? It's the same thing with the flapper device. You know, who's taking responsibility? Who's up to date on what's going on? Okay. I think there was an article early in the summer about contracts that the city had let for sewer projects. I asked somebody, I said, is that going to affect us in any way? And they said, I don't know. They were honest and said, I'll check into it and get back to you. They never got back to me. So, you might find this one kind of interesting. The first time we had a bad one, we called the city, and at 5 o'clock in the morning, we have a walkout basement, and the garage is 6 inches lower. You look in and we got a hallway right there. You look in the garage door. I'm squeegeeing water. As it comes down the hallway, I'm squeegeeing out in the garage to get rid of it. The shower where it's coming out of is 8 feet to your left if you look in the door. These two guys from the city showed up 5 o'clock in the morning, and they stuck their head in there and they say, "Yep, your sewer's backing up, but there's nothing we can do about it." Well, that makes me think of the TV commercial. Maybe some of you have seen it. You seen the bank being robbed? And this guy looks like a guard. He's leaning against the counter, and the people are laying on the floor, and they're mouthing to him, "What are you going to do? What are you going to do?" He says, "Well, I'm not a bank guard. I'm a bank monitor. I'm just here to tell you if there's a robbery going on." There is a robbery. Well, that's another thing we've been told recently. The city is putting in monitoring devices to monitor the flow so they can determine if and where there are blockages and if and where there are filtration. Okay, the monitoring is going to tell them what the problem is, but that doesn't fix the problem. You got to go out and fix the problem after you figure out what it is. Okay. So the thing is, we like to see what the city plans to do about this and how they might attack this problem. We know it's not an overnight situation. It costs a lot of money to fix sewers. I mean, we all know that. So, but this has been going on for years, people. I mean, some people say as long as 15 or 20 years, and it is getting worse. Now, if that flapper device had worked the way they're designed to work, we shouldn't have had any problem. We should not have had a problem. Or it would have been really, really, really slight. So, boy, that's a huge oversight or really poor management for that thing to sit there. I'm years. I don't think anybody's looked in that hole for years before we mentioned it. We have to get away from this kind of mess ups. It's just, we can't continue to do this. Okay. We would like the city to schedule a meeting in the future, not too far down the line, maybe, and the city mayor and or manager, city engineer, inspector, a department head or two, and have all the people invited to this that are involved so we can ask questions of the experts so we can understand exactly what our problem is and why it's happening and if there are any solutions to it. We need to know this from the horse's mouth, and we need the truth. We want the truth. Sometimes it might not be good, but we need to know what's going to happen. And in closing, this isn't probably real pertinent, but this is, we like this city. We like our condo. We like our location. We both graduated from Alleman High School, so we know Rock Island. But here, my wife taught in the Rock Island School District for 33 years. We chose to send our daughters to the Rock Island schools, not Alleman, because we were proud of the Rock Island School District. And we, over the years, we had a lot of our friends that sent their kids to Sherrard High School. They moved out of the city because they didn't want to have to send them to Rock Island. We defended Rock Island and the school system many, many times over the years. And we still feel like this city can get back to the point where we can really be proud of it. And it sounds like what we've heard tonight, you guys are trying, but we want to stay in Rock Island. But we need for things to be done right by you, and that it's going to have to start with you. I've got 3 pictures here. There's a lot more. There are a lot more pictures. These are just.
Are these the same ones we have on the screen?
Graphic ones.
Is it the same ones you
I
turned
don't
in?
know. I have no idea what's up there. I don't know. I have to say this because I just saw this 2 weeks ago, and I love this saying. Mr. Tollineer's heard it at our meeting. When we, the people, lie to the government, it can be a felony. But when the government lies to us, it's politics. Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Roxanne Tacey, and I live at 2112 35th Street in Rock Island, the Hodge Park Condo Association. I'm not going to repeat what Mr. and Mrs. Bybee have said about contacting the Public Works and different discussions that we've had over the years about this problem. But I will share some of the inconvenience and frustration of having sewer back up into your lower level. We've had several incidences. The worst one was June 30th in 2014. I think we have a video actually from a former homeowner showing the toilet literally overflowing, and it caused a lot of damage, whereas drywall, bathrooms, everything, carpet, tile, everything had to be removed. And it was another one of those where we were on a list with ServPro and Blaze and several other restoration companies. Luckily, we had somebody there within 4 days, and I think we were very lucky in that. But in trying to solve the problem and finding a solution, it took us about a year before we actually were able to get our houses back in order, finding a solution, which we ended up, at the recommendation of our insurance company, we put in backflow preventers, which cost the condo association $20,000. And that was just for 6 of the 12 units in our complex, the buildings that have deep basements. But, I mean, it was an unexpected expense. I mean, insurance covered a lot, but it doesn't cover everything. And then we also have the possibility of our insurance being canceled because of repeat claims for the same problem. Like I said, we did install the backflow preventers, and we were told that it's not a 100% guarantee fix. I know that it's probably helped, but 2 weeks ago, with the amount of rain that we had, we did have backup in our lower levels again, not to the extent that it was 3 years ago. But, I mean, it is an ongoing problem that any assistance that you could offer would be greatly appreciated. And like I said, the expense of these unplanned basement remodels gets a little old. And also, during that year, I mean, we had one homeowner that was in escrow to sell her unit. And of course, when we had the sewer backup, her buyer walked. She lost a house that she had put an offer in, and she had 2 young children, which she had to find another place to live because their bedroom was downstairs and it wasn't livable. We had another homeowner that her bedroom was in the lower level. She slept on an air mattress in the living room for a year. We've had other health problems, and I mean, every time it rains, like Mr. and Mrs. Bybee mentioned, you get a little nervous about what's going to come up. So any suggestions or any help that the city can offer would be greatly appreciated. Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, and City Administration. Thank you for hearing the concerns of these residents. I'm Roger Clausen, the insurance agent for both associations. I've been the agent for Hodge Park Condo Association and Park Ridge Condo Association since 1983 and 1989, so I've got a lot of history on this place. All good, right? The associations requested me to share a few concerns with you, but due to customer privacy, I'm not able to discuss specifics of any particular claims or customer information. However, I can share with you both association and individual unit owners have suffered substantially in the last 8 years. And those are the claims that I know about. Some of these folks took care of it themselves. They didn't want to file a claim. They know what happens to them. When we have a large storm, such as the last two we've had this year and then last year, we had 6-inch rains within a half hour. An insurance agent's phone rings quite a bit. I'm the first call, too, believe me. So those folks have incurred considerable losses, and not to mention the emotional stress, as you've just heard. What are some of the consequences they wanted me to share? Obviously, your insurance rates go up. Coverage can be restricted, meaning that sewer backup coverage can be removed. And keep in mind, there's two entities here. You've got an association policy that covers the building. That's one policy. Then you've got your individual unit owner's policy, which is your contents, and then you're responsible for what's in your basement and carpet and paneling and all that. So you got those dynamics. Worst case, they can be non-renewed or canceled. And that has happened to a few folks. They've lost their insurance, or they've had to go elsewhere, or they've came to us to help, or they've had to go to high-rate insurance company, and that is not pretty. When that happens, or when you have to go look for another insurance company, you're going to be paying a higher premium and substantially a lot less coverage. Banks and mortgage companies become concerned, especially for new purchases, as she just shared, and not to mention what happens in the market. I've heard a lot of theories over the years about what's causing this and who's at fault and who's to blame. I don't know if it's the builders, the developers, or lack of the city or whatever, but I'm asking you guys, you folks or the city to be proactive in trying to find a solution to help these folks, these 24 unit owners, and not to mention, I'm sure there's some residents, single-family housings that have gone through this that I'm not aware of or familiar with personally, but have dealt with this. So thank you for listening. Thank you.
How you doing? My name's Eric Black. I live on 21st Avenue, 3320. I grew up in the neighborhood. I actually bought my house off my grandfather. It was built in '56. And actually the first set of photos you guys looked at there with the toilet, that is my basement. My grandfather actually put in a check flow valve system to prevent the issue. He was proactive about it, but the thing is that he put a automatic check flow flapper valve in. They go bad. So he put in a hand push system, so I had to go down and hand push it. Well, on the 22nd, those pictures you guys saw, I went out in the morning, it's not raining anymore, I pull my valve. What happens? Sewage comes squirting out of my toilet in my basement. And this is probably 6 to 8 hours after it rained. So what I did is I went out and I pulled the man cover off the system, checked it. Well, you have sewage almost pouring out into the road. It's that high. You look at the stormwater system, which empties my backyard because I live in the ravine area there, and it's flowing great. I mean, it's no issue. So my grandfather's gave me history. He built the house in '56. He said basically when the house was built, when there was a dirt road, they never had issues. As soon as they put in the concrete and then the condos were built at Hodge Park, the issue continued and continued and continued, and only has got worse. So I've called the city. My grandfather's called his alderman before he sold the house to me. Never had any resolution. He strongly believes that the system is a combined system and it is not separated. And that's why we're having the issues. So when I've called the city, they say, hey, well, you've got 4 to 6 inches of water or rain overnight. This is going to happen. Well, if it's a sewer system, why is rain in our sewer system? Why is that causing an issue? The rainwater should be in the stormwater runoff. And I mean, it's a bad deal. And I have a finished basement, as you can see in the bathroom. My basement's finished. I've had sewage floating from every room in my basement, and I've had to rip drywall out, replace drywall, bleach water everything. I mean, and I do have the check flow valve system. So, I mean, I can't speak for the rest of these residents because I don't know if they have this check flow valve. I mean, it saved me numerous times. But it's not a fail-safe system. If it goes bad on you, you're going to have raw sewage in your basement. I have 2 young kids. I mean, I'm to the point right now, I want to put my house on the market and sell it and move out of the city because there is no resolution. And right now you have all these people fleeing and going over to Iowa, and I personally, I work in Iowa, so is my wife. We want to stay in Rock Island. We grew up in Rock Island. We're proud residents of Rock Island. But if we don't get a resolution in our neighborhood, we're going to have to move. And I'll tell you right now, if the city doesn't resolve it, that makes me want to move out of this city. I mean, it's a bad deal. I mean, just think. Look at that picture. Think if that was your basement and your kids play in that basement. I don't care how much you clean it with bleach and every chemical Lysol, there still could be raw sewage down there. And my kids are exposed to it. So if we can't get some resolution, I mean, I'm to the point where I want to contact a civil lawyer. And my grandfather's still alive. He'll be willing to take the stand. He'll be willing to be interviewed. He could be here today. I didn't bring him because he doesn't get around very well anymore. But, I mean, it's an issue that needs to be addressed. I mean, I was told by the city that they're going to camera the lines. They're going to auger the lines because, I mean, it's an old system. We all know it. I mean, Rock Island's old. I mean, it needs to be addressed. We need some resolution. Us in our neighborhood, we want to see results. Thank you, guys.
I'd like to share a few thoughts here while they're in my head. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Joshua Shipp. I represent the 6th Ward of the city. The property is not in my ward, but I guess what I just heard from all of you is the kind of thing that keeps me up at night. The nightmare that I have that we'd come here to council and get confronted with something that's in a crisis point. This is clearly at a crisis point. First thing I want to say is, on behalf of the city, as an elected representative, I'm deeply sorry for the poor customer service that you've experienced. The lack of follow-up. Right off the get-go, that is completely unacceptable. I know I don't want to speak on behalf of our new mayor, but in conversations with him, I know that something we're both very interested in is a change in culture and sort of that responsiveness that when we say we're going to get back to you, it's not just an excuse to get you off the phone. Second thing is that when it comes to the city, that buck stops here. We are the elected officials. We're the representatives. For many of us tonight, with the exception of perhaps Alderman Talanier, this is the first we've known of this event. And hearing the amount of time that this has been going on, I'm sitting over here kind of shaking because I'm overwhelmed with a lot of different feelings. Frustration, concern. The gentleman here, you hit it on the nail. What if this was my basement? This is my property. Y'all are living here, paying taxes here. So I want to stress that I just heard everything you said. We're not some body that's just going to ignore this. There's obviously going to be a pretty hefty cost, I would imagine, knowing the work that we've done to address our combined sewer outflows and the infrastructure. But as much as I can do as an individual alderman, we're going to fix this. We're going to fix this for the record, for your grandfather, for your father, I'm sorry, your grandfather, for all those who have experienced the financial and the stress and the health-related issues with this. It's completely unacceptable. I mean, there's no excuse that we could muster that it's gotten to this point. This is legitimately the thing that I fear most as elected official, that we're caught here sort of hands up and we're powerless in this moment to make amends for all the heartache that's happened to you. Well, we're going to fix this. We're definitely going to fix this because it's completely unacceptable. And so I imagine there's infinite amount of things that you would have rather been doing tonight and all the evenings and mornings and weekends you've had to worry about this and cleaning up, and that's all wasted time. And whether that's ultimately all on the city's responsibility or past developers, I mean, we can tic-tac-toe that all day long, but we're going to fix it. And I think this council's committed to doing right by you all. And for everyone else in the audience, for anyone who's watching at home, I mean, as soon as something's coming up, get a hold of your alderman and rag them. If they're not responsive, rag them. Give them, maybe a week to get on it and get back to you. And if they don't, then come here right away. So the whole council knows, the cameras are on, the staff is here, and we're all held accountable on the spot. None of us can say we didn't know. We've all been educated now, and the buck is on us to fix this and get it right for you folks. So again, I'm sorry on behalf of the city for this inconvenience, to say the least.
Well said.
I wanted to hear from Randy on this issue. Do you have any information for us, Randy? Is it the city's problem, or is it on the residents? I don't know which one, because I know when I had an issue, I had to take care of it if it was my property. So far, the city takes care of the line, and then the rest of it, the resident has to take care of it, because I had to do it myself. Where are we at with this one?
Well, so we're not 100% sure what's going on with the two condo associations and why they experience a backup, and other houses on that same street that are lower on the sewer line are not experiencing backups. So, Mr. Bybee, to answer your question, the storm system is separated. That is 100% correct. As the gentleman just stated, he looked at the storm drainage in his backyard and he could see the water running out of there. That's the water off the street. However, many of the homes in that area were built in an era where it was common to tie the foundation drains into the sanitary line, their sanitary lateral, which is what the engineers have told us they suspect is in that area, which would be why 6 hours after the storm you still see the line full, because those foundation drains are still draining at that point, and sump pumps and whatever else is tied in.
So we can at least work with the residents and find out what the actual problem is. Can we start there?
Yeah, well, some of it's going to take.
That's what I feel like.
Yep, and I've talked to Larry about it. So some of it's going to involve. Well, most of it initially will involve, some type of engineering inspection of the connections from the condo units to try to figure out why they're backing up and the house downstream from them is not backing up.
Okay.
But certainly that area is the top of our collection system. We are starting there. As was mentioned by somebody, we've got some flow meters installed. Unfortunately, until you have a large rain event, there may not be a lot of data. We're meeting with the engineer. I think Larry was at Wednesday. Tomorrow, Larry's meeting with the engineer, and it's the same engineer that's been involved in our whole long-term control plan.
Okay.
But the whole separated storm area does experience infiltration. That's why we approved $5.6 million investment in the Blackhawk lift station, because it's dealing with all that inflow into the system. The good news is the area that everyone here tonight lives in is the first area that we're going to look at. It's eventually going to be looked throughout the city. That'll be the first area. Ultimately, it's going to involve a house-to-house inspection of every house up there, and then some kind of policy from the city on, how we dictate that systems are separated on private property to prevent some of this. There probably is some lateral issues where there's a crack and you're seeing some infiltration, and undoubtedly there is some with the sewers also, the city sewers. We have a lining program if we find that to be the case, but it's a long process. So the first process is really to meet with a condo association, see if we can get an expert in there, and the city has no experts like that, to try to look at that entire system and see if, why do they experience a backup and the house here is not experiencing the same backup.
Okay.
Throughout the city, we do have this issue during heavy rains, but not to a regularity of the same properties. Typically, that's unusual. So to me, that there's probably something in that connection that is contributing to it. I don't know. We'll certainly work with you to figure that out, but the long-term fix of separating all of the connections that are no longer legal from the system is, throughout the city, decades and decades.
Mr. Mayor, my interest would be to have something begin as soon as possible in terms of the investigation that needs to be done, and have a report back to council as soon as feasible. I know it might take a little while, so that we can take whatever steps are necessary on the city's behalf for the citizens, depending on the findings of the investigation. Obviously, something needs to be done. I think we all feel bad that Josh said, that it's gotten to this point. There are several of us who are new on the council, and new or old. I don't think anybody likes to have this situation come up, but I think we can begin yesterday, so to speak. Thank you.
Is our request of a meeting in the future feasible?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. More than willing to. I know I am.
Contact Larry Cook back there, and he will be your contact for your issues, and he will also be the one to coordinate the setup of the meeting.
Yes, that we definitely can work on is communication throughout the process and make sure that that runs a little smoother, because it's more important to communicate with you people than it is even the council. We should be the after fact, actually, and you communicate with you people on an ongoing basis here. So thank you very much for your...
Can I have one go back?
Yes.
Please come up to the microphone, Mr. Black.
I've heard you say that, the condo units, it's a neighborhood as a whole. There's just residents that are not here because they don't want to be on TV or they don't want to stand up in front of you guys. And this issue has not been going on for 10 to 15 years. Like Bill has said, this issue has been going on for 50 years. My grandfather built the house, and he's been having the issue ever since he built the house. So before the neighborhoods were developed, before we had the condos, before we had the apartments in those areas up by Hodge, this was an issue. So there's something in the infrastructure that is wrong. It's failing. It's been failing since day one.
Well, and that's what we believe. It's the foundation drains and some other drainage from private property that's tied in that isn't allowed by code now, but was allowed at the time when your grandfather's house was built and every other house around there.
Yeah, definitely. It's an outdated system. It needs to be evaluated. I agree. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you very much. Productive meeting. All right. We have another gentleman that signed up to speak, Bill Gustafson. I'd like to talk about the mural reconditioning.
I'm Bill Gustafson. I teach art at Rock Island High School, and I have had a chance to do a few murals around. I did the train mural down the street here. And I just want to be considered when you're talking about reconditioning the mural. I did recondition it to an extent in 2008, work with Alan Carmen, and I just like to be considered, and I would like to, I see it being deteriorating daily almost. I know it has a drainage problem, and I hope that Saratoga Company looks into recognizing the problems that shouldn't have deteriorated. I feel like I'm qualified, and I would like to be contacted when and have a timeline when I can put an estimate together. And I like to not only touch up or work on that mural if possible. My own mural, the concrete has given way. The paint is just fine. It's facing south all day, and it's about a 12-year-old mural at this point. And it's frustrating because the concrete shifts and gives way.
Could you
the train mural down
the
here,
train one on Steve's?
Steve's all the time. Yeah.
Could you do me a favor? I know C. Chandler Poole back in the back, the CED director, and he's the one that's responsible for those.
Okay.
So,
thank you for your time.
Some of us can follow up on that request too directly to the individuals at Saratoga. So
his name's right here, Poole.
Yep, right there.
All right. Thank you very much.
You bet. Thank you. All right. Item number 38. We need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Mayor.
Oh, you got one more item?
Yes, I would like to commend the parents and grandparents and the leaders of Troop 258. These young men have, well, young boys, they're not men. They have they have not fallen asleep. They have watched as people, they've been trained to watch people when they're speaking. And one day, some of them will be sitting up here. So they need to be commended.
In favor of adjournment?
Aye.
Aye.
Adjourned.